Hey,
Hey!
beautiful.
Hi, everybody.
And you look amazing,
Perfect.
Toni. I am loving
Thank
this
you,
blonde hair, honey.
Yes,
I like
honey. You
that.
feel me? Blonde in the wintertime, honey.
Hello.
And
What
the lips.
rules? What rules?
Normally I
What
got a little red
rules?
lip.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm loving all the things. So we were listening to the album because I had listened to it previously, but I'm like, no, I got to do this again to make sure, I'm good and ready. And I mean,
I wasn't ready. I just want to say I wasn't ready.
You wasn't ready?
I wasn't ready. I was saying before you came on that, like sometimes you're not aware that you're in a certain space until something happens and it like checks you. And I just want to know that you checked me. I got checked and I wasn't ready for the checking. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that I needed that badly. I was like, damn, I thought I was vibing a little higher than this. Like it really humbled me and made me realize that I needed that. Like it wasn't like, oh, that was cool. It was like if I wasn't doing my makeup, I would have boohoo ugly cried. Like
the ugly cry.
Like I need to listen to this album again, like in the dark with some candles and like just cry.
Yeah, it's that. It was like a spiritual reawakening because like we were talking earlier, because we're both in such weird spaces. I mean, just I don't know, last time when we spoke, I was also in a weird space and I was like, well, damn, when I'm gonna get out of the weird space? Like,
Listen, it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. We are all in the same class. We are learning the same stuff. It's like if no one has understood we are one, now more like it's like really like how are we all going through the same thing? We are definitely very much connected. So as you guys are talking, I'm like, yeah, that's for me too. Same.
listen,
The album did that for me too, and I'm the one who created it. Like
I was like chills. Like there were so many times I had chills, or I'm like doing something else, and I was like, oh, what? Hold on, what? What is she?
You got to bring it back. It's like I would go back a little bit. I was like, well, I got to hear that again. Wait a minute, and it was literally like touching the pieces and parts of me that were sad, that were hurt, that were just honestly a little bit broken because I had to make a decision that hurt my soul but was good for my life. And it's like, okay, in this moment, yes, this hurts like shit, but I know for the life of me, for the type of life I want to live and what I want to experience, I will have to let this piece go. And that letting go piece is brutal. It is. I can't believe y'all are
saying this. This is just so wild. Like it's just I'll never get used to the fact, like I said it once on here, that we really be going through the same thing, y'all. Like I'm like literally like as of this week, I'm just like, is she really saying this?
It's crazy.
And we haven't spoken since our last one. Like
the letting go part. Letting go, that's something like usually it's like, okay, I have to let go. This is toxic. This is poisonous. When you have to let go of things that are not bad for you, but they're also not good for your growth. It's like
that's you. You literally going through that. Literally,
and then you're like, and then you have to grieve the part of you that believes that you have to hold on to it to feel some type of security and stability. Then you have to be the other the version of you that knows how to care for you, that knows how to love you. And you have to let go of the old ways of how you used to externalize or project meeting your needs from someone else, like getting your needs met by something outside of you. It's like, it's chaos.
It is. And isn't it so difficult to let go of mediocrity? Like it's really difficult. Like it's hard to let go, especially with men relationships. It's so hard.
I'm hanging up.
I'm hanging up.
I'm hanging up. I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not doing this with y'all.
It is hard. It's hard when it's not drastic, or like, you know, if there's no cheating, there's no domestic violence, if there's like none of those extreme things. It's
what has life done with us? That's why my last post that I made about the I Forgive song, I made a post on Instagram, and I was just like, oh, I forgive religion. I forgive society. I forgive government. I forgive the media. I forgive how I let go of my commitments. I forgive myself. I forgive my inner child who wants to take over my life. Like, you know, just all of, and I'm just like, and I'm like, and then I'm looking at this version of me saying I forgive. I'm like, I'm really doing this? This is what I'm doing? And I'm just like, and because when I say like life has really done a number on us to where mediocrity feels like home, where victimization feels like a comfy blanket, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, can somebody help me with this? Like, because this is a lot. So like, that's why I said this urgent self-care dinner that my friend brought me to, she was just like, let's go out to eat, you know, it was just like, and then I'm just like signing up for tennis lessons. I'm like, let me do Zumba dance. Like, let me have fun. Let me use my time playing and having fun, enjoying my life. You
say that in one of the songs about saying yes. Like saying yes to
say yes.
Yes.
Yes, that there's more to this jungle. There's beauty, there is wild beauty and chaos that's fun. Like there's things that you can do in the midst of for the lack of a better word, the storm, because the storm is really set up for your growth and evolution and expansion. But the process of trusting that can get very messy, you know, and you can't judge it.
It's messy as fuck. I mean, like, if we can just be really honest, healing is messy. It's grueling. It's heartbreaking. And that thing too, letting go of what's regular, what's mediocre, because there isn't there was some major something, but it is acknowledging, hey, and I think I posted about it today. I'm like, how do you want your life to feel? Do the decisions and the choices that you're making, does it lead to how you want to feel? If not, then sorry, not sorry. You're going to have to make some very real, very tough decisions that will require you to release. And that releasing does not feel good. It hurts. Like, just like when you are, whether you ever decide to have a baby, anything that you have to push out, and this is about to be real nasty, y'all, sorry. If you've ever had to have like a bowel movement, that pushing out process, and it wasn't quite ready to come out, and that pushing out, like how much pain it was, and sometimes you have to stop in the middle because it's kind of like and
then sometimes it's because you wasn't eating what was right and healthy.
Exactly.
To make you weren't prepared. That's because you wasn't prepared. You didn't. Hello.
I'm done with this metaphor. I'm done with this metaphor.
It's really disgusting. I told y'all it was gonna be nasty.
I'm done.
But I needed for the men too, who are on here to be able to understand. They may not be able to understand pushing out a baby or even, you know, other things.
Get it. Power to co-ed message.
Everybody gets that one. Like, it hurts.
Of course.
And you literally, Toni, you went in immediately with the first song, Run In. Like, you just I'm going in.
I was like, I'm coming
to it. Coming in hot.
I said, shoot, if I'm gonna get you hoes too.
Listen.
I was like, if I'm gonna get this type of situation, I'm about to look, y'all.
I was like, it was just a whole. You did an all-out attack on all of us, and the truth is that we do run, right? Because doing the work is really exhausting. It's messy. It's exhausting, and I feel like sometimes it just feels like it's easier to go from one thing to the next without really processing and healing. So, how do you feel like you stop that cycle? Like, how do you like when you were talking about in the song, like how do you just stop and do something different and make a different choice as opposed to the choice that you're used to making and comfortable making?
The the pattern of choices is very interesting because I have identified that I have a love-hate relationship with my choices. So for me is how do I make love be greater? You know, because I am learning as of this year how to be more proud of all my choices because they've all put me on, whether I categorize them and label and judge them as good or bad. So for me, it's like I literally had a friend with my other girlfriend earlier today, and she said something like, bask in the love of God, how much God loves you. And I was like, what does that even look like? It sounds good. It sounds true. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm God, if I was the source of all life, God, right? I created everything. I was that energy of intelligence, and I wanted Toni Jones to feel loved. What would I do as God? And I said this, y'all, and it was just like, yes. And because I realized how I needed to be loved right now, you know, and I get to do it. And so I said, you know what, I would tell Toni and say, hey, everything you're doing is not right or wrong. It's perfect. It's at whatever you're doing, how you cry, how you resist, how you let go, how you are attached, how you judge, how you want to do it right, the confusion, the certainty, the whole wave of everything that you're going through, the fact that you're feeling it, you're so brave and courageous. You know what I'm saying? And I just started to embody this sensation of all is well in the present moment. No matter what, I can never get it wrong. I can never get it right. So, but as is, I'm living, I'm expressing and experiencing the spectrum of my human experience. And this way, by doing this, I'm able to relate and have empathy and reach people from all spectrums of life, emotionally, spiritually, racially, because I am in my human experience fully. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, so I have to love myself. You know, I have to love myself because this is the only way I can actually be of any value in any type of dynamic of connection with others or anyone, professionally, personally. And so I was like, oh, so I'm going to love myself the way God loves me. This is the highest form of self-love. And the way God loves me, the way nature loves me, I don't have to do my vision board for me to get oxygen in the morning. I don't have to do all these routines and self-care rituals for the sun to come up. It's nature, and God just loves me as is. So how about I match that same energy? Or whether I'm gonna match that same energy, and I'm gonna learn how to.
It's about being and not doing.
It's about being. And I am telling you, it is being ingrained in me in deep ways that don't feel good, but I can feel it being encoded into me, where the beingness, the full acceptance is getting into my embodiment in places that I just feel like I have to perform. I have to produce. I have to fulfill this ideal version of me when it comes to healing, when it comes to my choices, when it comes to finance. I can go on and on about this, but I am telling you, the me versus every me is literally a journey of getting out the fight to love all of who you are, every version, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's that every version piece, because it's who I was honestly 3 months ago. I am not that person now.
Ooh,
and the decisions
she's integrated.
Listen, and
she's been integrated.
And she keeps evolving, and I'm like, yo, I need to be able to keep up. What is happening?
What is happening?
But isn't it crazy that when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like that's what's happening though?
No. No.
It's not until you look back like, oh, I was evolving. That's what that was. I'm sure.
I was evolving.
And there's this thing that I saw once where it was like, while the butterfly is in the cocoon, it has no idea that it's about to become this butterfly. Why the caterpillar is in the cocoon? Imagine how scary and dark and wet and gross it must feel to this caterpillar that was just
because it's disintegrating. It's disintegrating into a liquid.
It feels like death. It feels like it is dying. It is at the end of the road, and that's just it. It is dying, but it is dying to its best self. Oof. It's not dying.
It's a living sacrifice.
Literally.
You're a living sacrifice.
God, oh my God.
The fact that every part of my sinew is like on fire right now. And I'm burning alive.
No, we deserve this. We deserve this connection. Everybody who catches this live deserves this, because we have to be able to affirm and reflect each other in a way like we're in this together, because that's where the darkness comes, is when you feel like you're all alone in it.
Yes.
That's when you go down the rabbit hole where it's like, oh, I can't come up. And you just feel, and then your whole perception is super. Have you guys ever seen that movie by Pixar called Inside Out? Yeah.
Yes. And one of my favorite movies.
One of my favorites. I cry every time.
Listen,
you have to watch it.
I'm a big kid.
Anybody who listen, that album is for, I don't care if you're 70. I don't care. Well, if you're 70, that can be too much of a wake up call, but like, it doesn't matter what age you are. No, because I would hate to wake up to my inner world at 70 years old. I wouldn't want that. But shout out to those who are doing that at that age, you know, more power to you. Right. But
if you can catch the train a little earlier, I suggest try to hop on a little early.
Amen. Right. So but yeah, that movie really depicts what the process is like in healing your inner child, you know, rising back up from the emotional spectrum of, you know, in 3 hours you've experienced depression, anxiety, joy, happiness, excitement, enthusiasm, optimism, pessimism, cynicism, darkness, light. Like, and it's like, it's only been 4 hours.
It's not even noon. It's
not even noon. What? Cancel the day.
Exactly. Call the manager. I want to speak to the manager. Something is not okay.
To the manager. It's like, I want to say F you, F me, F us.
Just all of the things. I'm canceling it all.
I'm canceling it all. And then
but it's a real thing though. Because it's like all these feelings, emotions. It's like, how do you breathe, right? How do you breathe through the changes and the frustrations? Because it's very real frustration that comes with change. Because change, and again, I don't care what, change doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always feel good. And most times with metamorphosis, it doesn't feel good. So how do you breathe through the frustrations that come when it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, I'm telling you, I will say based on what I just said, it's like the first thing for me, what I've had to do is, what will God do in this situation? How will God love me in this situation?
Can we
if I was God?
Like what? Like, I have never heard. It's like you hear like sayings growing up. Like, I remember when the "What Would Jesus Do" bracelets came out, like in the 90s. You remember that like movement of "What Would Jesus Do"?
I remember that.
And it's like now, kind of having that come full circle for you to say that gives me chills, because it's like it was more like a funny thing about being nice to people and like, oh, like being kind to your neighbor, but very like you kind of taking it back to yourself and self-love. It just makes that message so much more powerful to even put yourself in that space to ask, okay, what would God do? What would God do?
What would God do? What would God do? Like in this, how? And when you look at that, and you can and say, well, what would I do if I was God for me? Like, okay, then that's when you just get the answer. And I got the answer exactly what I would do for me. And it's like, I would allow myself to feel every emotion without any judgment, and just trust that process of exploring that emotional spectrum of being a human and spirit with a mind and an ego and memory, you know, that it's complex. But
talk about walking in your power, though. Like, that is literally the definition of walking in your power. Yeah. What would God do?
What would God do? And then do it. And then be it.
And then do it. Yeah, that's the thing, to do and be it. Like, to ask yourself, and that was honestly that wasn't the question, but it was along those lines when I asked myself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? How do I want my life's experiences to feel? What is it that I want to see, or what is it that I envision? Because there is always abundance. There literally is abundance, but it requires you to say no to mediocrity. It requires you to say no to what's less than. It requires you to say no to comfortability, because abundance automatically takes you out of what is comfortable for you. Yep. Because most of us are not used to having an abundance of love. Like, do you know what it means? What would God do? Yo, you talking about the big one? You mean the big, what would he do? What? That alone, it's just like, it's like, I'm a God too. So the fact that I'm asking now, what would God do? And then I make a decision and a choice that aligns with what I believe he would do. Listen,
and
that's so true, especially when you think about, God, this is just like, whew, I don't want to mess my makeup up. I don't want these lashes to fall off, Lord. I'm trying to keep these tears in. This is just so much. Like,
let them fall. I'm tender too.
A lot of the things that we run into, I know for me, a lot of the things that I'm doing right now is around self-worth, and to even feel worthy enough, you know, like to feel worthy enough to even think that you could put yourself in the same space as God. And so many of us don't even feel worthy to do that. You know, so how powerful is that for you to feel that you are worthy to be in the presence and to have the mind of God? Like, oh my God, that's like,
absolutely.
That's so incredible. That's incredible.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what my whole body kind of like, and I wasn't ready. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I thought I was ready. I was ready for some of the other, but this one, the born again as I am, it literally felt like I wasn't even in the studio, but I know there was an ascension that was happening when you were doing that song.
Like that was something that I feel like you must have been like having some kind of a channeling.
That was a portal.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. My producer, shout out to my producer, because he produced 98% of the album. He would do the song and he was like, we got to go to church on this one. And I would either look through what I've written already, or I'll just start writing to it. And I was like, oh, this is called Born Again as I Am. And it was moments where we would just be like, we would just be sitting. I have the memory in my head. I remember us just being like, oh, yeah, this is it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You know how like you have portals, like if you've ever watched like sci-fi, like, was it the Trolls? I think it was the Trolls, where they had to have the portal open up for the blue ones to come from the troll world into the new world. And the portal had to be at a certain point, at a certain position, at a certain time, in a certain part of the year. It literally felt like you had tapped into another universe when you were doing that song. If y'all have not heard Me Versus Every Me, I need you to, as soon as this live is over, because we got some goodness here, but as soon as this live is over, you need to go download the album and just listen to it on repeat. It will change your entire life. I need you to listen to it in succession, but once you get to Born Again as I Am, be in a place where you can feel it completely, because it changed. I wasn't even ready. Like, and I know, Danny, you were talking, there was a part, I'm living 1,000 deaths. Like, I'm living 1,000 deaths.
Toni, what, girl? Like, how do you, like, what?
Oh my God. Break that down.
I was like,
I'm living 1,000 deaths.
Right now? Like, what is this Rumi-esque, powerful, like this, it's like you became like like, I don't know if you guys are into poetry, but Rumi is a Persian poet that has, oh my God, he says incredible things. And that's what it made me feel like. Like, it felt like I was listening to like some iteration of Rumi. It's like, I don't know. It was, girl, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I'm living 1,000 deaths is
next level.
Y'all, it's just like so much. It's like I understand it through feeling more than I understand it through logic. And
Yes.
it's the best way I can put it is like unworthiness, insecurity, rejection has been something that feels like it's a part of my DNA.
Oh.
And when you experience certain things that trigger that,
I'm not gonna cry, refuse.
I am triggered AF. Just triggered.
Right? Right? It's y'all fault. Y'all call this podcast triggered. No, but seriously, I just want to take a moment and slow down and saying this because I really feel like people need to hear this. It's so locked in your DNA, and you can see it and feel it more now than ever. And you can't, it's like you grieve believing in that now. Like you can no longer believe that rejection, abandonment, unworthiness, insecurity is your home. It's a norm. Like it's a part of your life. It's no longer that. It's like you have to feel it, to integrate it, to transcend it. Ooh. And so you experience these situations, these relationships, people are close to you, and they bring that up out of you, and you have to be with it. And then you have to be the one that comforts you in the transcension. Like you have to carry yourself through it. And so for me, it's like, it's not only the deaths, it's like me having to rebirth to what I've done the work for, to believe in my worthiness, to believe that I am loved in life, that people love to love me. I'm accepted everywhere I go. To even say that is like, that's too extreme. Why would you say that? That's just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Logic will try and just bring these realism that you've learned that's really cynicism and fear. And so for me, living 1,000 deaths is like it's not even looking at 2020, 2019, 2018 and prior. It's looking at 2021. What I've died to this year to even push this album out. Like, and then what I'm still dying to and being rebirthed to is like, oh, the promised land is here, because this acceleration of this ascending is like, it's going, it's happening even without my intention. And so it's like, but I've done the work enough to remind myself, flow, Toni, flow, be present. You got this. Be in ease. Drink your water. Go work out. Play, have fun. You got this, girl. Go, 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 go. Okay, cancel the day. All right. You know, just finding my rhythm. And it's like, I just want you all to be encouraged, want us all to be encouraged. And I say us all because I am encouraging myself. Okay. I am encouraging myself to just keep going and just take it day by day, because the mind can play tricks on you to make this thing bigger than what it is. And really it's a whole game. It's just something you really just supposed to enjoy. You know, enjoy the waves, enjoy the ride. So I would definitely say is like that affirmation is like, I'm living 1,000 deaths is because I've been dying to this old program of insecurity, not worthy, you know, and so on, so on. Like, and then being rebirthed to my purpose, to be well, that I'm okay, that all is well, I am loved, and so on.
Oh, listen, and you said it just now when you were talking about dying to it, like that to die is to say goodbye to the form that it was once in.
Yes.
And saying goodbye can be so hard, especially during a time where so many of us collectively, because of that ascension starts, it gets the ball rolling. Like when you start to ascend, things drop off quicker. You arrive, at least your mind does. It arrives before your body does. And that space between my mind being there and my body being there, that bridge is scary. It can be it's uncomfortable, and it's deeper than just uncomfortable. It can kind of feel like you're being ravished. And so that saying goodbye and dealing with those feelings, like how do we even begin the process of saying goodbye to the version of us that can no longer exist? Like, how do we begin to say goodbye to that person appropriately?
How do we even say goodbye? You know, I will say, like, because when I'm answering this, I'm thinking about, well, what did I do? Or what am I doing?
Yeah.
And what I'm doing, I'm just being very gentle with myself. I'm almost like kind of tricking myself that I don't have to say goodbye. It's just like, say goodbye this hour. Just for an hour, say goodbye.
Okay.
So that's how I'm doing. I'm just, for this hour, for today, you have to say goodbye. It may not be goodbye forever, but in this moment, you have to let this go. And then console myself, care for myself. You know,
so it's more of a wean. It's more of a weaning.
It's a weaning off. Yeah, it's like a weaning off. Perfect word. It's like I'm weaning myself off, because if I get too aggressive, the old stories will just get amplified.
That ego,
and then they don't play. It'll snatch you back.
Right.
Just for you to feel a sense of security and safety. And we appreciate that. The ego is there for us to feel safe. The problem is that, I won't say the problem, but the challenge has been that we have been taught in a society that our ego is our God. Our ego is who we serve. Our ego is who we are. So our whole identity has been wrapped around being conditioned and indoctrinated with the needs and wants and impulsiveness of the ego. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you're dying to that, or you saying no to that, it's like you feel like you're saying no to your security, your stability, your groundedness. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to get triggered and be like, it's probably going to do all type of stuff to self-sabotage you, just for you to feel the illusion of safetyness. You know? So you got to wean yourself off and be like, just today, okay? Just today.
You got to be nice.
You got to be nice.
Yes. You got to be nice. You got to be nice to your ego. He can't. The ego can't even really know what's happening for real. For it to
not
really
for real. Not for real. You can't let the ego know for real. You got to kind of sidestep, like, no, we're doing this for
It's for us.
You included. It's for us.
I'm saying you can come. You can come.
Come on. You're gonna get cute. You're gonna get real cute after this. Like, trust me.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. Don't worry. We're gonna have the best time ever.
We're gonna have the best time ever.
Come sit with me real quick.
No. Oh my God. That's exactly how it is.
That was so good, because it releases the pressure, you know? Because we always feel like I have to know now, I have to have it now, I have to do, especially for it. And I speak for myself, because I'm an overachieving type of chick. I be trying to, like, sis, flow. And you said it earlier too. And I was like, that is what I am in now. I'm in a space and place where I'm allowing myself to flow and have fun and enjoy. Like, what does pure enjoyment look like? What does not doing these 5 items on this to-do list today look like? What does doing 1 look like? Or what is doing none look like? I want to lock into enjoyment, because we all know how to work hard and do all the things, but what does it look like to work for enjoyment? What does it look like to find and lock into a joy that is unlike anything that we've experienced, because it's not tied to an outcome. There is no outcome. The only thing is the experience in that moment.
Feeling good.
That's
feeling good. I was just telling my best friend tonight. I said, I remember losing how I believed it or categorized it. I saw it as I lost everything. I know what that feels like when I lose my whole reality and I don't know what to claw onto for some sense of familiarity, and having to rebuild my life, if you will, from the inside out. And I've had to do that a few times. So I'm at a stage now that if my peace of mind is compromised by my passions, by my family, by money, by society. I don't care, by anything. Everything is a casualty when it comes to my peace of mind. Like my career, my music, my social media, and I don't care. Everything is a casualty because I know what it's like. It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And so I'm at a point where I have to be a soldier about that. Like I have to be an example of that conviction because I know what it's like. I'm a very sensitive person. That's part of my superhero power. It's my sensitivity, my senses. I can feel very deeply. And so for me to allow someone to infiltrate that type of space, or a circumstance or a situation, I can't allow anything to infiltrate that space that I've built for myself to believe that my peace of mind requires that type of vigilance and protection. So for me, it's like, please don't make me. Please don't make me don't make me protect my peace of mind.
Don't make me choose.
Like, because I don't make me choose. And I'm telling y'all, I love what I do. I love who I am and how my life is unfolding, but everything is literally a casualty when it comes to my peace of mind, because I know what true happiness and joy is. I've tasted it. Like, to have joy, I like when I'm happy. I like when I'm joyful. It's something just so palatable and so undeniable. And I love that it's not externally generated. Like, I don't have to have a reason for it. So when you taste that type of joy and taste that type of peace that has no reason, has no logic, it's like, oh, I gotta maintain this.
Like,
I gotta
this is better than any drug.
This is better than anything. Like, and I like who I am when I'm in that state. You know, so it's like, if I have any type of power and choice over that to continue to sustain that, and it's that or this, I gotta let it go. I gotta die to the part of me that wants to keep you. Like, because my peace of mind, I gotta die to the part of me that want to keep this job or keep this type of mentality around my body, my health, and money. Like, I gotta let that go because my peace of mind and joy is on the line, and I can't. That's not negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable.
It's
like,
not.
You know what? I like that you brought up your music and your career and things like that, because sometimes things can be going in a way that we have pursued. Like, we can have a goal and everything can be going what feels like in our favor. Like, you can get the thing, you can get the man, you can get the house, you can get the job, you can get the car. All the things can be going a certain way, and you still have to realize that your peace is above all that. So it's not just when things are going bad that you're like, oh, I got to hang on to my peace. It's in the moments of joy and in the moments of everything feeling successful.
Yeah,
you know?
Everything that you've prayed for is happening, because at the end of the day, none of those things. That's why I love what Jim Carrey says. He said, I wish everybody's dream came true. I wish everybody made the money that they want to make so they can realize that's not it. You know what I'm saying? So they can realize that's not it. And so for me, it's like being able to be consistent with your relationship with yourself, despite how full it gets, you know? And I realize that my beingness is my purpose, because whatever I create from my beingness, it impacts, it influences everybody, and everybody has access to that state of being. You know, whether you want to choose to be depressed all the time or you want to choose to be in joy, you have access to choose your state of being and embody that, you know. But yes, to your point, you have to maintain that peace even when everything is going right. That's why people can have these amazing lives and still be down. And I'm like, I refuse.
It's a
to be shining and have no peace.
It's crazy. It's like that, and that's the part that
I can't have it.
Nobody tells you that part, that it's like, oh, you figure all that materialistic stuff out. Now you stuck with yourself. Now what?
Ain't nothing else to work for.
I remember when Oprah started going through that transition where it was like she did everything she needed to do, and now it was like, okay, it's just I gotta look at myself. I accomplished all the things. I have all the things. I'm definitely in a very similar space where I accomplished a lot of the things and I have all the things, and it's like, oh, but go deeper, boo. That was cute.
Like,
that was cute.
Yeah. Peace of mind in survival it has to translate to peace of mind when you're thriving.
Yep.
Because people can get caught up in their thriving, and their thriving can feel like they're surviving because they don't have peace of mind, because they have not been working, they haven't been caring for their inner being. So yeah, woo, y'all, we going to some places tonight.
Listen,
who
you
we
know
talking
every
to?
time. Listen.
Who we talking to? Somebody better be getting their notes out, because this was good. We definitely have to save this. I'm gonna have to look back at this one.
We definitely gonna save it.
This is a whole book.
It is. Go ahead, write the book. I'm gonna buy it. Listen, I'm gonna buy it. I got
Y'all get this transcribed and let's get this transcribed and get a bag.
Listen, get the bag. Had them buy it in the ebook version.
Yes.
Do the audible.
Hold on. As we're speaking about the bag, can we just talk about the line "Money worships me"? I'm telling y'all, can everybody please just go listen to this? I can't take it. It's like, just when you think like, okay, so you're like listening to the, like, okay, for me, my experiences, I'm listening to it. It's like, oh my God, like there's all like, it just keeps going. Like you're like, oh yeah, that, and oh yeah, I need to hear that. I need to hear that. And then sis says, money worships me. And I'm like, girl,
like, what? Yes, but also what?
Like
mine.
She said money picks me out of in the crowd, y'all. She said
in the crowd.
She said if money see me in the crowd, it's gonna be like you, boo. It's gonna be
come. Like you know how your old grandmas be with your grandma's on kept, they saw you 2 weeks ago. They're like, baby, I ain't seen you in a while. Come here. And then they pull something out their titty.
That's what money does. That's what money picks me out the crowd. Yes, Artita.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Listen, it was magical, especially the whole,
this is amazing.
I think it was what was it? Talk nice to me. Listen, it's so funny because I tell people that all the time, like, I don't allow any partner I date, you are not allowed to yell at me. Like, you talk nice to me, I'm gonna talk nice to you, you talk nice to me. I won't be yelling and cussing you out, and if you so much as raise a voice, I gotta go. It's a trigger for me.
It's a deal breaker. Yeah, I don't say
a whole deal breaker for
me too.
Because if you yell at me, you're going to curse at me. And if you curse at me, eventually you'll hit me because you don't know how to manage
yourself.
Emotions. So even I'm just one step away. People are like, it's not that serious for you. For me, ain't no yelling, ain't no cursing each other out. And so in the talk nice to me, there was a line you said, I'm learning to seek less and allow more. The emoji, the emoji with the mind blown part. And it's like, okay, yes, but now let's take it back. When you're living in a capitalistic society and you are looking at, social media and the people showing all their things and, oh, I've got this. And like we were saying, the inner part is rugged. Like you shiny on the outside, but you dull on the inside because you haven't worked on your inner being.
Yeah.
Like, how do we even begin the journey to allow more? Like how do you start the journey to get in flow to where you're not trying to, and I hate to say fight, but you're not trying to fight to attain and acquire more things, because you work to acquire more things because that inner peace part it's not there. So how do we start like that journey? Like, what did you do?
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Me and a girlfriend of mine last year, we took the train to Kalamazoo, Michigan. We didn't know what we was gonna do. And when I say by the end of the day, we could not believe how amazing that day was. So why am I saying this? We allowed the day to unfold as it came. The people that we met, the favor that we got, the people that picked us up. Like, it was just like we got lost and enjoyed being lost. So I say that to say is the allowing is allow yourself to wonder about life. Wonder what your day is going to be like. Wonder
I'm curious.
in this pain, what else is here in this pain? I wonder how this pain is gonna put me on to me. Like, because the last pain I had, I definitely grew from that, right? So it's like, I wonder what this pain. So it's taking that. I give you that example to exercise, giving your nervous system experiences of experiencing great results and outcomes and joys from not over planning life, not over strategizing your healing, not over planning your fun. Just allow things to just unfold. And then what happens is you start to recode your nervous system to get more familiar with losing control, and then getting the sensation of like, oh, it's okay. I'm good. This was better than me planning it. So it's like seeking less is like loosening your grip on being so intentional, so strategic about your life, and allow just universal intelligence to just unfold life in a way that just goes far past your logical planning. You know, I mean, when you get cut on your body, you don't have to, you know, do a whole lot to heal that cut. You know, you don't have to listen to the podcast, do the self-care ritual. Like, your body just does what it does. So we have to trust the source of the highest source of intelligence knows to heal your life, know to bring you things in its due time, in its season, and just do your part and be well. You know, so seeking less is it's unlearning that part of us that has taken capitalism into our nervous system to overdo, overperform, overproduce in every area of our lives. Relationships, money, business, working out, depression. Like, we just overdoing all of the things now. We got so much information on how to do it that we just doing it all. And just because we can do it all don't mean we should. Baby, it's too much. You know, so I would definitely encourage people to just take, you know, a page out of my book and see if it resonates and lands for you. Like, seeking less and doing more has a lot to do with loosening your grip to being in control of your life, of everything. Because, you know, that's what you're taught, you know, put in your work, you know, do this so you can get, like, you know what I'm saying? So I give that suggestion of me and my friend me and her taking that train ride, had no plans. We didn't know where we was going. That literally helps you in a playful, fun way. Put your nervous system in the gym to experience, like, dang, I didn't plan this. I didn't strategize this, but yet everything worked out, and it was 10 times greater.
And it builds that trust with yourself.
It builds that trust with yourself.
A lot of us have broken. It's like that trust. You know, Toni, something, I don't know if you meant to do this, but you know, music is art and we all have our own interpretation. So something that I got from listening to the album, and again, I don't know if it was intentional, but it's how it resonated with me, was like at the beginning of the album, you are more so talking about like the self-work and all the things you need to do. And then you go into the relationship side, kind of talking about like in the morning and the pleasure meditation, and like you start to kind of incorporate like how that work looks like in practice with somebody else. I don't know if that was supposed to flow that way, but that's how I was like.
Yeah, so my producer and I were very intentional in the order of the songs based on how they felt, based on the message and everything. So yes, you're right that it was a journey. We were very cognizant of the vibration of the songs too, and how they weave together to take you on a journey. So, you know, and
I
to
love that. I love that it was like, okay, I did all this work now. I did some inner size. Okay.
Inner size.
Yes to the inner size.
Yes to the inner side.
I'm excelling, I'm running, I'm free, and now I can get some pleasure and I can lay back and I can not have shame around sex. And I was just like, what?
Yes.
You don't understand. Like, it was just so perfect for it to flow into that, because I was just like, wow, like that is what the work looks like. That is what we need to be bringing to our relationships, is all the work and the healing we do on ourselves. And then you can present it to somebody like, okay, here I am. And I can just be, I don't have to do this. I don't got to cook this and be this boss bitch and be this super mom and be this and be, it's like, I don't got to do all that. I can just show up as my whole goddess feminine. There were some moments that I was listening and I just felt so sexy and I felt so like,
amazing.
And I am 9 months postpartum and I have not felt sexy since like my third trimester or something. So that is the first time, honestly, that I have truly felt sexy since I've had my baby.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow.
And I was like, God, like I remember thinking like this, and postpartum bodies, for anyone that's had a child, is just the most challenging. I feel like it's the most challenging part for me of having a child, is dealing with my new body and how I look now, and just the words that you said, and just like how you reminded me how important it is to not feel shame around any of that, was like, that's so true. And you feel like, oh, I already know this stuff. I'm a life coach. I teach these things. And then it's like, oh no, but you need a reminder, boo, because you got to go deeper. Right?
Yes.
And sometimes that's the part of people who are healers and lights. Sometimes you get into this haughty place where you feel like you don't need no more, or you don't need no more healing, or you reach some kind of mountaintop, and it makes you prideful. And I really believe that it's important to be, find your favorite coach's favorite coach, and work with people and listen to people and constantly heal, as opposed to feeling like, oh, I'm done, I already know this. And that today was your album was a reminder of how important it is to constantly check yourself and feed yourself and surround yourself with people who want to keep seeing you elevate and go deeper and higher and further, as opposed to just accepting you at a certain level. And that,
oh my God, y'all got me in tears over here.
But for real, like, it was just, there was just so much I got from it.
So
and
much.
It's just like, I didn't even know I needed this. Like,
that's the biggest thing. I didn't know I needed it. Like, I was literally listening to it like, Toni is some kind of psychic being. I mean, it's for me, it's the fact that when you created this and you were working on this album, I wasn't going through what I'm going through now.
Same.
That's why I said it literally is like a portal. Like, I just want to be a fly on the wall when you're recording, so I can just see, because it's like kind of like an energetic, kinetic, like the symbols and the things that are moving in the air, like when you're creating. Because how in the hell did you know that I was going to be going through this in this moment, and I would need your words when you were creating it however long ago? Like, it's the willingness to, yes, like you were saying, like, die 1,000 lives, but it's the willingness to literally lay down yourself to be a catalyst and a portal for what is about to happen and for what folks are going to need. It's saving lives by surrendering.
It's literally,
by flowing.
It's literally, it's crazy, because my mother said something to me a while ago, and she was like, you've been doing this since you were a child. I was like, doing what? She was like, you would come up with these fashion designs, and then like 2 months later, I'll see it in a magazine. She was like, I had this Hawaiian themed graduation party. We couldn't find Hawaiian decorations for nothing. 2 years later, Hawaiian decorations is everywhere. I had this cafe themed bridal shower when I got married, centuries ago. And we couldn't find any Paris, decorations. And I went to town to find that stuff. And this has been happening where I'm like this creative prophet, if you will. And I'm doing things before. And I remember when I did affirmations for the grown ass woman, and I wrote worth ethic. I knew before, like, women are burning out. Like, because when I was talking about self-care and well-being with my coaching business for 6 years, I saw it. The boss bitch era. I saw the black girl magic. Us get obsessed with that. Like, oh, I'm magical because I'm productive and I'm making $1 million in 6 months. Like, and then so it's like, well, I want to do that too. Yeah, me too. And then it was like, and I was watching this and I just saw in the spirit realm, the vibration of it. I was like, oh my God, our hormones are going to go crazy. We're going to be getting sick. We're going to like have a career identity, all of this stuff. And I saw it. And I was getting all of these messages, downloads about it, and I put it in the music. And then I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm just so humbled that I get to do this for us, y'all. Yeah. But I'm telling y'all, keep me in your thoughts and prayers, because as much as as you all get this music, like I need y'all in this energetic relationship that we're in, because like it is a sacrifice. Like for real, to realize that I am someone that's going to spearhead the awakened woman into mainstream limelight, like to realize that it's such a responsibility, because it's stuff that I have to accelerate and get now before it goes into a whole nother atmosphere. And so for me, my 2021, creating this album was just not about, I know what this is. I know we need this. Let me put it out there. It was like, I know we need this, but I have to embody this now so I can actually put the vibration into this album to where people are getting delivered, you know. And it's not easy, but it's not hard, but it is very much a challenge, because it's like my nervous system is connected to the heart, the chakra system of the human family. I can feel what we're going through, like the disconnect between men and women, the disconnect between women and their bodies, their feminine energy. Like I can feel it. And so my level of self-care, my level of self-love is on a whole nother level. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. We're all the chosen ones. You know, it's just we have to choose it. We have to choose it. You have to choose it. And more than likely, the it is you. You know what I'm saying? You have to choose the fact that you are chosen. You know what I'm saying? To make your free choice for yourself. Like, you know, like you being chosen is about you having free reign to choose for your life. You get to choose your thoughts. You get to choose how you want to respond. You get to choose how you want to talk about the past. Like that's your choice. And we all know whatever we're doing in our internal world is what we experience in our external world. So I am very honored, because the fact that I can influence and inspire so many women to be able to resonate with the work and with the path, it's so comforting and so encouraging for me to continue to do what I do, because we deserve to realize how whole and healed we are, so we can really enjoy this magical, miraculous place that life truly is. Like we need to be getting the bags. We need to be having the best sex of our life. We need to be enjoying our health and be able to watch ourselves dance between the dark and light effortlessly. Like we are the daughters in the kingdom. Like we are gods and priestesses. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a lot here that we have been blinded to that makes life so much beautiful, much more beautiful and magical. And I'm gonna find out more about it.
Listen, and I'm gonna be right.
I'm gonna find out more about this.
I'll be right on the coattail, like, hey,
and we know you're gonna share it, and we know you're gonna share it.
And I'm gonna share it all. I'm gonna share it all, because I done been to hell. I done been to the darkest parts of myself. I know what that's like. So I'm trying to go as high and as deep as possible, because I want to see what a gift this life truly is, and why it's really truly worth living.
Listen, you are a gift, and I am so excited to not only spend this time with you. We're gonna let you go, because I know we want you to enjoy the rest of your night, but I just want you to know, like, we honor you. We are so grateful, because it is not easy to be a catalyst for change. That is a heavy crown. Yes, goddess, and it's still heavy. Yes, changing lives, and it can still be a challenge. So I just want to encourage you in your darkest moments to tap into the energy of the change that you're creating.
Yes,
because you are creating change for millions. So when you're depleted and you feel tired, go take your rest, but then borrow from the energy of the change that
That's
you are
beautiful.
creating.
Thank you.
Borrow from that, because you're going to need that with what you're doing and what the ascension that you're taking. Going up on a mountain, especially when you're bringing a nation with you, ain't easy. You can read Moses, you can read Genesis and realize ascending and bringing a nation, that shit's tough.
And let's not talk about all the forces that don't want you to do that. So that's something that so many people don't understand about light bearers, is that are a lot of other things that are trying to pull you the other way that make that journey 10 times more difficult for someone like you. So I just hope anybody that follows Toni, that listens to her music, is constantly lifting her up in the light of goodness and love, so that she can continue on, because it is even harder. Because whenever the brighter the light, the darker the forces come, and they are determined to smother any kind of light out. So always keep that in mind, especially for light bearers and people that are put on this earth to be stars and to make change.
Thank you, guys.
On a bigger level, you know, for those of us who get to follow that and get inspired by that. Through the inspiration, don't ever forget to stop and hold space for them and love them and help them through this process, because it's very, very difficult. So I hope that, you know, in your darkest moments, Toni, you know that you do have a village and a community that's really rooting for you and holding all the space that we can for you.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much. That means so much. That means so much. You guys have no idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
and I love, it was so good. Oh my God, we laughed so hard. I just appreciate the way you guys carried the interview and the way that you have I love to hear the way you all are receiving the album, because it is, I don't know, sometimes I forget, like this is happening. You know, I'm so present in my life, you know, my real life, that I go on Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, this is changing lives. Oh yeah. Like,
yes, it is.
So
changing whole lives.
Like whole lives. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm proud of this.
Are.
So I have so much gratitude. So thank you for really listening to the album, knowing the album is very encouraging for me to just continue to create the way that I'm creating.
Yes, please,
and where can everyone find it? Like, I need them to know. I got mine on iTunes, but where can folks who don't have iTunes?
Yeah, you can buy it on iTunes and Amazon, and you can also find it on all streaming platforms. Follow me on Spotify, because my activity in Spotify in 2022 is about to be real special. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And then you can follow me on Apple Music as well. And I have a YouTube channel, Toni Jones, where I have a series called Affirmed. And I'm telling you, this series, like, you guys, I think I have like 3 or 4 videos on there. And I'm telling you, like, it is like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It's basically affirmation meditations over visual art. So if you want to play something to get you right in the morning or to close out your day, it's literally you just push play. That's it. And you can just tap into that vibration of feeling affirmed and feeling grounded. And then also, I'm going on tour next year. I got a special announcement coming in the next week that you guys are going to love. That's going to complement the Me Versus Every Me album. So, but you all can follow me here on Instagram, and you can keep updated on my Facebook page called I Am Toni Jones. All the links are in my bio. So yes.
Also for anyone that's going to get the album, and if you're supporting artists and things like that, it's important to download. A lot of times, some of us are just listening to the album, but for streams to count towards their numbers, it needs to be downloaded, especially if you can download the entire album as opposed to single here, no single there. So let's like the more streams, let's get her on these charts. Like let's like
Thank
we have to push this.
Y'all helping me pay my bills.
That's right. We need you to pay your bills so you can keep going and create music.
Y'all helping us.
So let's pour into her so she can continue dumping and pouring and drowning us with all this goodness. Okay, that is super important. So always keep that in mind with artists that you want to support. Yes, a lot of people don't know that. I actually got that gem the other day from Nicki Minaj when she was on Housewives of Potomac. She was breaking down the difference between streams and downloads and how they actually get paid. So please
appreciate
download the album so that we could keep Toni in these streets on these vocals.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Because
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys so much for joining, for listening. I hope that you guys got all the things like I did. Please go listen to the album, share it. It's a great gift. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Triggered AF. Remember, don't be consumed by your triggers. Confront it and then work to release it. Whether you leave us more triggered than you came or you're feeling like you've been open to a new perspective, our hope is that you've grown. Make sure to share this episode with a friend who's trigger happy and tag us while you're listening. We can't wait to hear from you. Until next week, pull it together, girl.